Hi, I'm Taylor McFarland. I'm a board-certified pediatric dentist, and I'm on social media as the Mama Dentist on TikTok, Instagram, and now YouTube. Today I want to talk about some different types of floss and why you might choose one over the other. So a quick overview, we've got string floss, floss picks, interdental brushes or Proxabrushes, and then water flossers. For string floss, you have a few different variations, waxed or unwaxed, and then woven or dental tape. Dental tape and waxed tend to be easier to move through the contact points. Waxed floss is also a little bit stronger, so it's not as likely to break. And then dental tape is the thinnest of all, so that is going to be the best thing. Waxed dental tape is going to be the easiest to get in between really tight contacts like post braces. Woven floss and unwaxed floss tends to grip and grab the tooth and the plaque a little bit better, so people without tight contacts who can kind of choose any type of floss that they like. Often hygienists are big fans of unwaxed woven floss because it just gets the teeth even cleaner and you get kind of maximum scrub. So this is an example of waxed dental tape. You see how it's kind of thin and flat like a ribbon. And this is a woven floss. You can see it is more like cylindrical and thicker, and that weaving kind of stretches out and can just grab the plaque and in theory clean your teeth all the better. Another popular option, probably the most popular option, is floss picks. There's a lot of talk out there about waste. You can get some that are not plastic, that have cornstarch handles, so there are eco-friendly options. And you can get them that are straight up and down, or one that is like angled in a perpendicular fashion, so it's easier to access the back molars. Like that, instead of having to go and pull your cheek out. Like that, to floss. But these, you can get them in dental tape versus woven, as well, in waxed and unwaxed variations. Interproximal brushes or Proxabrushes are great when you need something to clean a large space or like under a bridge, something like that. So you'll see this used a lot with patients with periodontal disease where they might have gum pockets and tricky areas to clean. But you can also use these if you do not have periodontal disease. If you have a bonded retainer, if you're in braces, you don't only clean between the brackets up and down. You can also clean perpendicularly in the space, that triangle between your teeth, by just turning it and going like this. At first, it's going to take some finagling. You're going to bend a few, you're going to make your gums bleed. But once you get the hang of these, they're really, really nice and easy to use to clean in between your teeth. A lot of people like them who have a fear or phobia of flossing. They're afraid they're going to pull out their teeth or that the floss is going to get stuck. Proxabrushes are nice because you're just going in and out through the side. I'll try and do a demo for you because it is kind of a weird thing. But you have ones that are angled perpendicular, so it's easier to access the molars, and then ones that are straight up and down. I like the straight up and down ones. These are gum microtight. This is what I use, the gum microtight, the smallest size that they have, because I have very tight contacts between my teeth post braces, and I also have a bonded retainer. In ideal world, you're going to get some hygienists hating on me here, not cleaning in between. You can, just like with your floss pick, you can clean in between, run it under water. But the key to flossing, the most important piece, is that you are disrupting the plaque biofilm. You're not letting it mature and produce acid, become more anaerobic, and you can disrupt it, move them around in your mouth. Like, we don't wash off our toothbrush when we're moving between different parts of our mouth, so you don't necessarily have to do that unless she's got some severe periodontal disease and like certain spots that you don't want to progress to other places. But most of us that just have regular old plaque and stuff in there, it's already all over our mouth anyway. The bacteria are floating around. So don't stress. You see how you just go laterally? I have a bonded upper retainer on the back up here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not going to show that, but you can see it in my nose. Where you're aiming for, what you're trying to clean, is this little triangle of gum tissue. It's called a papilla between teeth. Your contact point is usually up here on the top of your teeth, and you're trying to clean out that little space underneath. And you want to clean this side near this tooth and this side near this tooth. Here we have in this old Typodont from school with Lord knows what I was doing with it. I think I was bonding teeth together for support. I don't know. Pretend this is a bonded orthodontic wire, okay? So you can't get floss straight down. You can't go like this. You can't get in between the teeth, but you still need to clean the space underneath. That's where a Proxabrush can be very helpful. You're scrubbing like that. I'm going to bend it because this isn't a real person. It is plastic. Oh no. And this will happen sometimes when you use them yourself. You have to find like the proper angulation and practice. You're going to bend a few. But once you get it right, figure it out, what works, you can kind of straighten it out, try again. Let's real quick, while I have you close, do a demo with string floss showing you the space that you're trying to clean with floss. Because when I share this on TikTok and Instagram, it always gets millions of views because people are shocked. They're not cleaning all the way in the correct spot with their floss. So let's do that. Here's our string floss demo. First thing about string floss, you want about 18 inches. This is a little too short, but the distance of like your forearm from the tips of your fingers. What you want to do is wrap it around your middle fingers. Okay, and what you want to have is predominantly one hand holds it and the other hand doesn't. And then as you clean, you're flossing and moving it along from clean hand to dirty hand, right? Same idea as before. You're trying to use clean floss to clean. But again, if you don't, trying to save the planet, you're flossing your whole mouth with 3 inches of it, I'm not all that worried about it unless you have periodontal disease and you have specific bacteria in certain spots you don't want to spread around. But most of us, all the bacteria are everywhere, and we just have regular old black gingivitis. I'm like cutting off my circulation. Don't do it this tight, not this tight, okay? And then you're going to use your fingers, your thumb and pointer to kind of manipulate that floss up and down and push it in between the contacts. So for like back teeth, I use my thumb. And I'm getting it taut, pushing it up with this finger. And then you scrub. Okay, this is gonna have to be a voiceover. You want to scrub down below the gum line along the side of each tooth adjacent to that triangle. Now, caveat, I often tell people you shouldn't be popping your floss. What I mean is you shouldn't be going like this. It's like jamming it down. The pop sound in and of itself, that's just the floss passing between the contact point. You can't avoid that, especially on the molars. But ideally you will, especially in the front teeth, try to saw that floss in between the contact and not just like jam it down. So like this. But you still heard it pop, right? And then you're running it up and down the sides of that triangle. Now I can't get it very deep because I have a bonded retainer. So when you're using your string floss, you want to scrub either side of this little gummy triangle, your papilla, and you want to scrub down kind of underneath. The bone level is down here. These are just gums and they're sort of free. It's like a little turtleneck around your tooth, and plaque and food can get down in that little space. And so you want to scrub it clean. So you're sawing between the contact, gently moving down, and you try to shape your floss in the shape of a C like this. And you scrub it on the side of one tooth, and you scrub it on the side of the other tooth in that little triangle. So like this. So I want to try to do one last little mini lesson just to show you where we are cleaning. And it's right along this little tissue I call your turtleneck of gum tissue, and it wraps around your tooth. And your bone level, because it's lower, and I think this is broken, I can show you. See your bone level and how your gums sit 2 or 3 millimeters above that. And there's just this little space that you're trying to clean out with your floss. And that's why I say don't pop your floss just straight up and down and just jam that poor papilla. You want to go laterally and kind of hug the tooth and clean it on either side. So here's what not to do. Just like smashing it down. Don't do that. Do this. So it's not about speed. It's finesse. And last but certainly not least, we can talk about water flossers. A lot of people on social media or with their dental hygienist or dentist encounter, I don't know what you would call it, perfectionism. And they're told that string floss is the only way to floss, and any other way, basically you shouldn't even bother. At least that's the message that a lot of people hear as well. They told me string floss was the best way to floss, and I hate string floss. I don't use string floss. Maybe I use it for 2 days and then I stop. And so I just ended up not flossing. That's a lot of people. I think it's really important to emphasize as dental providers that the best tool is the one that our patients are going to use regularly. So a floss pick might be the easiest thing dexterity-wise, remembering-wise, ease of use-wise, whatever for our patients. And we don't want to villainize that because it is still doing something beneficial. It's disrupting that plaque. Maybe it's not as perfect as the gold standard, because that is what string floss is, the gold standard. It is removing most deeply, most effectively plaque and food debris, but it's doing nothing thing if it's just sitting in a drawer. So I really try to stress to providers and then to patients that we just want you flossing every day. And if you hate string floss and will never use it, use a floss pick, use a Proxabrush, or use a water flosser. Water flosser on the level of things is probably the lowest in effectiveness on the list. It's not cleaning as well. It really can't remove the stuck on plaques quite as well as floss or something else can that's really mechanically scrubbing. This is just spraying water like a power washer, and it can spray pretty well, but still it's just not quite the same, but it can really help with bleeding gums, disrupting plaque. It is still beneficial and better than doing nothing. I really like ones like this. It is cordless and I use it in the shower. So something like that, that's just combining routines, making something more accessible, easier for people. It's also great because it's got an easy grip. There are some people that just physically cannot hold those teeny tiny, definitely not the string, and even the floss picks are difficult. And this is the only thing that will work for them. So we don't want to villainize and make these out to be horrible when they are a useful tool for a lot of people. But with the water flosser, you are trying to clean right along that gum line, same way. They're really messy, so I like it in the shower. They're not as messy if you use them properly. Check out Teeth Talk Girl. She's got a great kind of series on water flossers and showing how to use them, but you're supposed to learn where you go and then close your lips so the water doesn't get everywhere. And you're doing it over the sink, just like that. And moving along, and it's power washing your teeth. But these are a great tool for a lot of people, and I think it's something to consider and to offer to our patients who are struggling with oral hygiene at home. Would you like to see the same demo for toothbrushes, maybe electric and manual, and how to use them? Let me know in the comments. And up next, YouTube's going to show you the video they think you'll enjoy the most.